Hello and Satnam, everyone. My name is Raj Prem. Some of you know me as Chris, and I'm here today to talk with you about control, or lack thereof. This is something that I have struggled with for most of my life, if not all of it, and I have started to get some really good clarity on it very recently, and I felt to share it while it's still alive and juicy, so you guys can maybe get a little something from that, my experience as well. Essentially, I have noticed that when I am in a relationship, and particularly a romantic relationship, I tend to feel that my partner is going to take away my control. And that manifests into a lot of ugly shit. Basically, it's a projection of the relationship that I had with my mother. And hi, Mom. Um, I think I felt disempowered and felt like she had taken away my power. And so I project that onto the woman in my romantic relationship, which is not healthy at all. And women, you may have experienced this. Guys, you might know what I'm talking about. If you don't, hopefully I can give you some clarity on that today. Essentially, it manifests for me as a feeling of tightness in my belly. I tend to want to overcommit myself and do, check stuff off the list and kind of show that I'm good enough. Because I think ultimately the message that I got as a young child, and I'm not saying that this was the intended message, but the way I perceived it was, I'm not good enough. And I'm not good enough has stuck with me for a really long time, and I am so happy to be letting it go. Goodbye. See you later. Hopefully never again in this lifetime or the next. What I've learned is to, first of all, realize what that tension is about, as I just explained to you, where it came from for me. And I think that that's where it comes from for a lot of us. It comes from our childhood and these traumatic emotional woundings that we carry with us, especially when they're from the childhood, because we tend to absorb everything really well when we're little, when we're children. And so now the second step being how to start healing that. And so I've asked for help. I've spoken to my wife, my partner, about it. And I've spoken to some spiritual teachers of mine and my life coach. And basically it's boiling down to some shame, basically, that's behind that. Like this, I'm not good enough. So I feel ashamed if I'm taking time for myself, or if I'm, doing something for me. So what I tend to do is I tend to do, which is crazy, so that I can try and prove that I'm good enough. And then, when I feel like I've proven that I'm good enough, then I can take some time for me or do something for me. But that's not the way it works. It's just like when you're in an airplane, they tell you, put your mask on first, and then only can you help the person next to you. Well, it's the same thing. Until I help myself first, until I take care of myself, until I love myself first, then I can't possibly love or take care of someone else. And so it's not about how much I do or how good enough someone else thinks I am. It's about me feeling good enough, me loving myself, and then through that, I'll be able to create a much healthier, happier relationship. And so if this sounds familiar to any of you people out there, please feel free to to write or comment, and I'd be happy to talk with you more about it. My wife and I help people through a system of medicine known as Ayurveda, and she also helps people through Kundalini Yoga, which are both extremely powerful ancient systems of healing that come from the Vedic science from thousands and thousands of years ago. So, and a lot of that is still very relevant today, how we can go about taking care of ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and also paying attention to the signs that our body gives us. Like, for instance, what I was talking about, like I felt that tightness in my belly for so long, and that would manifest as some physical disease if I didn't take care of it sooner rather than later. Likely it would be in my gut. I'd probably have some, kind of cancer or IBS or, something along those lines. And so if you're feeling some tension in your gut, check in with yourself, see if there's some I'm not good enough, or boil it down, distill it down, and see if there might be some shame in there. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing some videos going forward to share only what's been impactful for me and how I've grown in my journey, because it's been a really amazing journey from years of addiction up until present time, where I'm just shedding layer after layer, and it feels so good to be awake and aware and moving through this life and on a path toward grace and joy in this life. And I wish you all the best, and I wish that you all have the courage to go in and face those fears, boil them down, find out where they're coming from, heal them, and move on with your life. Sat Nam and Namaste.